Welcome to Study Life. We've been discussing a lot about photoelectric effect and I think I need to talk a bit more on it. The very first thing, I've already said it a lot, that this photoelectric emission will only take place if the frequency of the incident light is much greater than the threshold frequency. Only if the frequency of this light is greater than threshold frequency is the entire photoelectric emission going to take place. Second thing that I want you people to know is it's an instantaneous process. It's a very instantaneous process. It has no time lag. There is no time lag in this process. That means the moment a photon is incident on this electron moves out. There is no time lag there. It hits, it moves. That's the concept. It's also a one photon, one electron story. It's a one photon, one electron story. What does this mean? This says if you hit this metallic target with one photon, this photon is going to remove one electron. Two photons, three photons, or four photons will not be required to remove an electron, nor can one photon remove two electrons. It is the idea that only one photon is required in order to remove one electron. We don't need three electrons. We don't need three photons to remove one electron, or do we need one photon to remove three electrons? The idea is very simple, very clear. It is observed that the photoelectric current, what did I say? The photoelectric current. What is photoelectric current? The current produced by the emitted photoelectrons is directly proportional to the intensity of light. It is directly proportional to the intensity of light if I keep my frequency as constant. If I decide to keep my frequency constant, and if I decide on to plot a graph over here, this is what my graph is going to express. If this is my photoelectric current and in here is my intensity, I will see that this graph is a straight line passing through the origin. This graph is a straight line passing through the origin. Moreover, the slope of this graph is completely positive. The slope of this graph is completely positive. So if the positive, I suppose it's very much clear to everyone. Yes. So this is the idea. In here, we also understand that if I decide to keep the negative potential a bit higher, okay, if I decide on to draw a graph in this pattern where this is plus V naught, this is minus V naught, this is the accelerating potential, this is the retarding potential, and if current is plotted on my y-axis, I will get a graph that looks like this. Can you observe this graph? This graph says that in here, if there's retarding potential, there is no current. At certain retarding potential, there is no current. We will call this as stopping potential. We will call this as stopping potential. Okay? At stopping potential, you will never be able to find any current. And what you get to say is the moment we start increasing my potential, the current increases. But after a certain time, the current is going to go constant if I keep my intensity constant. If I decide to keep my intensity constant, this is the type of graph. If I plan on to increase the intensity of light waves, what happens? This will increase, but after a certain time, even that's going to stay constant. But the stopping potential there is going to remain same because it is a property of the metal that is used for photoelectric emission and it is an intrinsic property. I hope everyone is understand this entire points that I decided to talk about. In our next lecture, we're going to discuss something called as Compton effect. So I suppose everyone is quite excited for it. You have heard about Compton effect a lot in our previous lectures, but it is time now you understand what it exactly is. So with that in mind, I would love to see you people in our next video learning Compton effect with me on Study Live. Thank you.